Okay. Yes, it's recording. We're gonna wait. Okay. We're talking really old school Polish Hasidic. Very. Like Bnei Yissaschar, where he lives, is Dino. I don't want to do too much without them. Hopefully they'll join. But think like old school Polish Hasidic texts that were, I guess, preserved during the Holocaust and made its way down to America, Canada, all these areas. That the Mooncatcher Rebbe is from the Dinov dynasty. Okay, so we're talking about the elder of the Mooncatch Hasidim. They have Mooncatch here in Montreal. I'm almost certain they do.
A lot of Hasidim, like
I'm almost certain the Mooncatch Rebbe and his Hasidim live here. Yes, yes, yes. Hi. Hi. Shvat. Oh, yes. Ah, this is Jill. This is very fashion, Jill. Hi, Jill. I'm so happy you came. So happy you came. Welcome. Wow, what a pleasure. Malava Malta. Wow, what a pleasure. Okay, so I'm going to give you a text that you guys can see. And this is Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. Do you recognize anybody here? Okay, so beautiful. Meeting new friends. Amazing. Here. This is the front cover. Sarah, do you want copy action? Okay. This is for you. You want? Hi, what's your name? Rona. Hi, Rona. I'm Kochava. 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 Nice to meet you. Okay, welcome. You come from the other side, also from not Kotzebue, right? Montreal. Ah, okay, fine. Wonderful. Thank you for coming. So, we're having a malava malka. Please feel free to wash your hands for hamotzi to have the fourth meal of Shabbat. Right? So it's not a very Hasidic thing to do, actually. The Lubavitchers do not wash for fourth meal, but it's a really chashuv thing to have the queen. You escort her out of the Shabbat with a meal. So I'm so excited that you made soup and bread. This is a really big deal for me. But like I was saying, we're learning the Bnei. So this book, I couldn't obviously get copies unfortunately for everybody. I printed out some things for you guys. The book was written by a very chashuv Rebbe, and he's known as the Dinner Rebbe because he's from Dinner. Dinner was in Poland back in the day. He was born, I think, in the year, I'm just going to check, 1783. So we're talking 1783. Okay. It was like the golden era of Hasidism back in the day. Does anyone recognize um, the Jose Lublin? His names? Okay, so these people, I'm not familiar with it. I'm not Hasidic, so it's like learning about a whole new world that I was never introduced to. So I hope if you guys don't know who these people are, I feel like I'm in good company. But if you know, so tell me. So his name was Rabbi Tzvi Elimelech Shapira, actually. He comes from Dinah, and what a little bit about him, why he called this sacred Bnei Yissaschar is because he is known to be from the Shiva of Yissaschar. Okay, there's a really interesting how he goes about that. So that's why he named his sacred Bnei Yissaschar. I'll explain a little bit about that. And also, he was Niftar, his yurt site was the 18th of Tevet, just passed, like not too long ago. The 18th of Tevet was not too long ago. Chai Tevet. He says it's his tradition that whoever is niftar in the month of Tevet is very attached to the Shekhinah. And how does he know that? Is because he says the Shekhinah, the name for the Shekhinah is called Iti. Iti Lebanon Kala, Iti Lebanon Boy. This is in Shir Shirim. So the Iti represents the same gematria. If you're with me with gematria, you're gonna love this year. If you don't like gematria, I don't know if you're gonna like it. So Iti is the same gematria as Tevet. Tevet, Iti. Whoever dies in the month of Tevet is directly attached to the Shekhinah. It's a beautiful idea. A lot of beautiful Rabbeim were niftar in this month of Tevet that we're still in. I don't know if you remember the Rambam, his Yerusha Hilula was a few weeks ago as well. So it's an Indian that Tevet holds a lot of power in it to be close to the Shekhinah if you're niftar in it. Okay, so the entire Sefer is all about connecting to the time, the 18, the time. How does it connect to time? He talked all about months and holidays and fast days and all the Torah portions, all of these things he talks about because it's important to know it because he knows it because it's a tradition from his rabbis. Okay, so let's go back a little bit about. I'm going to tell you a story. Like I said, I'm going to start with a story that I didn't make up, but I heard from Rabbi Reuven Wolf. It's a rabbi. I don't know exactly where he's Chabad rabbi. So is it?
Is it legal?
Reuven Wolf. I'm not sure. So he says like this. So the Elimelech, his mother was Rachomina, his father was Rav. They tried many, many years to have children, and they were not successful. Each time a miscarriage, each time it was another disappointment, and it was getting to be a problem because they were waiting and waiting many years, and then finally Rachamina, she's very nervous about it, like what's going to happen. So she goes to her uncle. Her uncle is Rav Elimelech of Luzinch. Luzinch, he was the one who wrote Noam Elimelech. Anyone know that book? Noam Elimelech was a big book. He wrote this book that many women, when they're giving birth, it's time for them to give birth, they put this sefer under their pillows because they want to have a successful birth. Just know this exists, and it's his great uncle. Okay, so Rafamina goes to her uncle. She says, I want a bracha from you. I want to have a baby. He says, what are you worried about? You're not gonna, everything's gonna be fine. You're actually having a baby boy. And by the way, please name him Elimelech. So she's like, she's excited. I have a baby. And then she gets really nervous because Nazim don't name babies after someone's living. It's not their tradition. So she's nervous about this. She goes home and Baruch Hashem, she has a baby boy. And then it's time for the Brit Milah, and they're asking, okay, what's the name? She's just nervous. Oh my gosh, I have to name him Elimelech. But my uncle is still living. So she says, okay, Tzvi Elimelech. Tzvi Elimelech is his name. And then when Elimelech of Luzhin hears this, he's like, oh, it's Tzvi Elimelech. Tzvi is not, Tzvi is not a melech, right? Aryeh is a melech, right? We know that lion is the king of the jungle. Tzvi is a deer, right? What did he do? But don't worry, he's still gonna be a very special. Don't worry. This is just a story, small story about who he is, where he comes from. He was very close to Tzvi Elimelech, like I said. He was a great Rav. He learned with him many years, and also the Chazal of Lublin, many others. So he's a great rabbi who comes from great lineage. Okay. There's one more story if you guys want to hear. We have time. We want to end soon, so I'm gonna save the story for next time. Each time we have a story. Unless you don't like the stories. Unless you don't like the stories, you can just. So I'll give you quick other information about him. He says, from him he's seen Eliyahu Nabi many times. That he says he has smicha from Eliyahu Nabi. He's seen him so many times, and there's many stories that go through him seeing and being with Eliyahu Nabi that he's like, my smicha is from Eliyahu Nabi. Beyond, right? This is a character that I don't even know how to like describe him in the best way possible because he's so high. And so with that, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, because he said many times, he always had the Bnei Yissaschar on his table, never left his table. How powerful the book is. So I'm giving you the idea of who wrote it and how powerful it is. Okay. And how it got the name, if you're wondering, how he knows that he's from Shevet Yissaschar. He had this tradition because he started to write down these ideas about holidays and time and things like that. And he realized he was writing so much about the Chodesh of Kislev, in the holiday of Hanukkah. You should see this book. I'm so glad we started in this month because if we had our Chavruta before that, how many pages and pages he writes about Hanukkah. And I'll show you how many pages he writes about Shvat, which we're going to learn tonight. How many pages this he learns about Shvat. Really, you're gonna be surprised. Is it? We may have Purim, so we can talk a lot about Purim, Hanukkah, and this is Shvat. One, two. Okay, so I'm glad we started in this one. So he asks and he wonders to himself, why is he writing so much about Hanukkah? Like, really, there's nothing written about Hanukkah in the Quran. Very little, very little. So he's like, maybe I should ask Nabi, right? Why am I doing the Hanukkah so much? So he goes to the Chodesh Lubin. His name is Chodesh Lubin because he can see. He has the vision to see far beyond what we actually see. Before he even gets to say a word to him, he goes, and by the way, you're from Shvat Yissaschar. I'm from Shvat Yissaschar. And he's like, and the reason why you're so attracted to Hanukkah is because you were on the baking of the Chashmonayim. So I don't know if you were in my shir on Hanukkah. You were there. You were there. Remember, I said that they didn't like start celebrating Hanukkah until a few years after. They had to decide on their baking. They had to rule it as a holiday that we're gonna celebrate. So his soul, the root of his soul was he was on the basin of the Hashmonayim. He's not from Shevet, let's say Levi. He's not a Kohen. He knew, but he was like, am I Hashmonayim? Where am I coming from? He's not. He is from the Yissaschar. The Yissaschar, how do we know that they were on the Beitin? They were Yemei Bina, Yemei Chash, Yemei Bina, Yemei Shuna, Kavush. So the whole basin consisted of Bnei Yissaschar. Okay? They are the ones that hold the ideas. They know how to possess the times. You're gonna learn it. He says it in his introduction to this book. They are his sons wrote many books. They call themselves they call themselves the Yodei Bina. Yodei Bina is they have the knowledge. Okay, so they're from Yissaschar. I don't know about you guys. I find it's really cool because there's 10 lost tribes in the world. You know that he's from Yissaschar. He's one of the 10 lost tribes, right? I find that very interesting. So we're gonna go over first the introduction to the book itself, but I didn't print for you guys because it's quite long. But really quickly, it says here, "Bnei Yissaschar Yodei Bina Itim." They know how to possess the understanding to the same time. Okay, in time Judaism is cyclical, right? It goes in order of the 12 months, right? And it always it's never linear. You're never doing the exact same thing. It's cyclical. It goes in. So what else does it say that I find interesting?
Yes.
Totally a spiral. How is a spiral?
Yeah.
Cool. Higher and higher. That is always you start here on Rosh Hashanah, and hopefully by the end of Rosh Hashanah, you're in the spiral over here. So hopefully, we're always going up and not down. But there's a lot of things I could say about his opening. Sure. Save it for next time. Now, we really want to get into Shvat. The month of Shvat we're going to start with. It only has 2 discourses on it. I tell you, don't read a lot about Shvat. It's fine, right? But Shvat is my birth month. I'm also very excited to talk about it. Zion Shvat, thank God. Zion Shvat is the 7th of Shvat. So we know that we only have 1 more day in Tevet to make it to Shvat. Oh, you have the best birthday, actually. Shvat, you're going to hear about it a lot in here. But some say that the Rosh Chodesh Shvat is actually Tu B'Shvat. Tu B'Shvat, it would have been another Shvat. Okay, so according to Shammai, it's Al Shvat. Okay, but according to Hillel, who we go by, is the 15th of Shvat. Put that one. Oh, another holy year. Okay, great. Not really. Beautiful. Okay, so they are also known as Aquarius. We're going to talk a little bit about Mazalot. What are Mazalot? Mazalot are the constellations, the stars. We are not, in our tradition, we are not like people who care about what the stars are because we're above this constellation, right? We know this. we're going to talk about is how the constellations actually do become a core part of each of the months. Okay? The months actually matters. We know that we can sort of not manipulate, but work with the puzzle, make it to our favor, to make the world to our favor. Does that make sense? If you have any questions, you should stop me. I'm happy to entertain questions. Okay. So I want you guys to open up to this Aleph Aleph, right? And in English, it's not in Hebrew, unfortunately. The Aleph is not. The Bet is. So you'll follow along with Aleph and in Bet, you can read it. All right. So uh, I could invite you guys to read. I'll start. So it says, "Go you debar lekut hachodesh." Go you debar. Does everyone have it? Aleph Aleph. Okay, so go you debar mechut hachodesh. Here we're going to talk about the mechut. Mechut is like the identity of the one. The tziluf Hashem. The tziluf is the permutation of the Yud Kei Vav Kei. Okay, these are very lofty ideas. Of course, I don't know. So I'm going to just explain it as like a side note. Okay, so the tziluf of Hashem's name, it goes in a certain order. And every month, because there's 4 letters to Hashem's name, Yud, Kei, Vav, Kei, Yud, and then we have Kei, Vav, Kei. These get permeated through the 12 months of the year. And how they come down is a very interesting thing. And yeah, that is not the scoop of this year, but it's really interesting. So this month, the order is like this. It says, Siruf Hashem, Mechbad, Meir Bazeh, Chodesh Hu, Hey, Yud, and Hey. Why is it in this order? Because V'yotzei, V'roshei Teva. Roshei Teva are the abbreviations of this pasuk. It comes from the pasuk in Vayikra. It's from Leviticus, Vayikra. It says, Hamar Yimreinu V'hayaku. Haya, like Hamar is the Hey, Yimreinu is the Yud, V'haya, the Vav, and the Hu is the last Hey. The Alpi that you that Kama Inyanim. So on this, we're going to learn a few ideas. Okay, so far so good. Any questions until here? Hamar, I can explain what is Hamar in Menu Bahaya Hu. It's talking a little bit about, and it was in Menu, it was like a risen. It's talking about how good things are gonna happen to the people that Menu that were like rising up. Okay, so I think it was talking a little bit about the tribes at that the Ibai. Okay, so let's learn Siman Bet. You guys ready for Siman Bet? Some of you have it in English? Okay. The Sefer Yetzirah, Lichot Sadi, the Uta. So in the Sefer Yetzirah, which is, raise your hand if you know what the Sefer Yetzirah is. Amazing. So you guys know something. Great. The big secret. The Sefer Yetzirah is the book of formation. The book of formation is the book of information, which keeps on the secrets of how the world was created. Avram Avinu, he was also another author of the Secret Theorem. It's all about like, the world, how it's created. It's a very Kabbalistic book. I don't suggest anyone to pick it up and read it. It's hard stuff. Okay, but here we have Bnei Yissaschar. He's quoting from the Secret Theorem, so we know it comes from a great source, the source. Okay, it says Himluch Himlich. What is Himlich? It means that he made it king over the Ot Sadi. Ot Sadi is the letter of the month. So each month has a particular letter that connects itself to the month. So this month's whole letter, what is Sadi? The Sadi. Sadik, which is great. Bilauta. What does it mean? Bilauta. Taste. Like to eat something, to taste. So the Ot Sadi is the king of taste of this month. Vikesher lo keter, and it's bound with it a crown. It says that about every single month, right? So this month he lived like in the past month, it was iron, iron two, actually iron two. So he lived iron, whatever, the kesher lo keter. Each month has a crown. Sadi, if anyone can see the letter Sadi, it kind of looks like it has a crown. Actually, what it looks like is what it is. Really, it's symbolic of the tree. right? You can see the Tzadi Tzofika has the two tops and the long leg. That's like a tree. And remember, I asked you which one is the symbol of the month. Unfortunately, it's not true. But the Tzadi looks like one. The Tzadi looks like one. Okay, so that's really interesting to know. He talks about the Tzadi, the Sargo, and it says the Sargo, and it was formed to create a deli. Deli. Who knows what a deli is? Okay. So trivial, right? Why is the month of Shvat a bucket? Anyone know? Beautiful. I was hoping someone would understand the horoscope of the month is also Aquarius. Okay? Aquarius is like water, right? Aqua. So deli is the form of holding that water. A bucket. Literally, it's a bucket. So Bishvat, Bishana, Bekokeban, Benefesh, Bekobenekeba. So Shvat is also the Korkiban. The Korkiban, anyone know what that is? This is the actual organ that's connected to the month. Each month also has an organ that's connected to the month. And this month, the organ is stomach or esophagus. You can say the Korkiban is an esophagus or is a stomach. So anyone, based on what I just said, know what the tikkun of the month could be about? This month not only is the organ the stomach, but also the tzadi that looks like a tree. But also we have two bishul eating fruits. Okay, so far, basic on what we're saying is that taste, right? Taste is a big midah that we're going to be investigating. Not maybe tonight, but maybe next year, okay? That's important. Okay, Amru Atochneim, Arishonim, the early stages would write, Maza Deli Humaza Yisrael. They said that the constellation of the bucket is the constellation of Israel. I thought we just said, right? We don't have a Mazal, right? Didn't we just say, and Mazal Yisrael? I'm continuing in the next one. And Mazal Yisrael. היינו שישראל על ידי מעשיהם בתורה הופכים שביתת המזל. Based on what I'm saying is that we're able to do mitzvot and to learn Torah, like change the mazel to how we want. אבל אחר כך, תודה יש להם מזל. Okay, when do we have a mazal? It says it in Gemara. We have a mazal when we are time of our birth. The time of our birth is actually our mazal. I don't know if you guys are into birth charts. It's a big thing for a lot of people. No, birth charts document like the time that you're born, because this is connected to your root of your nation. We are actually very bound to that time that we were born. Exactly. The age that you were born holds a specific purpose for each of us. It gives us insight into our mission into the world. So yeah, if you want to do a birth chart, I highly recommend. I haven't even done mine yet, but I still think so highly of it. Some people like really are like into it. I think it's great. Don't use it as like this is how I should live my life. Again, you're above it. It gives us insight as to what is our mission in this world. Like if you were born a specific time, we know astrologically where the moon was. We know exactly where all the planets were lined up, and this gives us information. Okay, interesting, huh? Okay, I find this so interesting, but again, I haven't done it myself. Or okay, Behime, I'll continue. I'm online. With the one, I'm on line 7. So we understand that yes, Israel does have a mazel and it's doesn't seem so like remember how like we think of Israel as like the lion, right? Lion of Judah. We're a bucket. We're a bucket of water. Doesn't seem so exciting. But this is really why we're a bucket. Because a bucket, its main function is just to bring forth water, draw out water. Okay? והנה הוא משמש על המים ואין מים אלא תורה. And here we know that whoever serves the water is actually not serving water but Torah. right? We know that Torah is water. It says, "Havei kol tzameh lechu l'mayim." Whoever is thirsty, go to water. Lehovot, and we are taught this. More mazalot Yisrael, who eved mishamish al Torah. So, Jewish people, what is their actual function? To serve Torah. Just here to serve Torah. Okay, that's interesting. וגם ששטיפת המזל מחייב באיזה אופן. And we understand that actually comes with this a bit of a responsibility, right? You're the one that's going to need to draw out the Torah and give to other people. It's a big responsibility, right? הנה עסק התורה במצוות יתהפוך הכל לטוב. So we understand that when we are doing the mitzvot, right? And we're actually the isuk Torah, we're like engaged so much in Torah, הפוך לכל לטוב. It's going to end up all good for us. All good for us, right? So this is what he's saying in the beginning, right? The last one, "Anshe mazalan eved mishamish ala Torah." The person, this mazal, that it connects to Israel, we are basically just serving the purpose of Torah. Mitavin and understand. לפי זה מה שדרשו רבותינו, זיכרונו לברכה, אצל העבד הנאמן של אברהם אבינו. We understand this based on who was the Eved of Avraham Avinu. Eliezer. Yes. I think of the church of Damascus, it actually says Mashke. Exactly. It's very beautiful. Here it just says, Avraham Avinu שהוא היה הראשון ראש חוסיין שהביאו הקדוש ברוך הוא למעלה מן המזלות. Avraham Avinu was the first person ever in our lineage that was able to have to be. He was raised above the mazalot. Before him, they were so much into the stars, where each thing was. Avraham Avinu, Hashem said, I'm going to raise you above. I'm going to raise you above. והנה עבדו זקן ביתו, and here we have his Eved Zaken, his older servant in his house, דרשו עליו, then Meshech Beiti, he Damasek Eliezer. And who is the one that is Meshech Beit? I love this term. In Israel, is actually, you're a Meshech Beit if you're a housewife. A Meshech Beit. Meshech means that you're literally in charge of. A meshech is someone who's I see as like you're giving water, you're giving life to people. A home, like someone who works in the home, who is a housewife, is a meshech. I love this. Beautiful. So a meshech beiti is Eliezer Damasek. Damasek comes from the same, right? Damascus. Okay. Rameshech. So dole umashke. Dole is someone who draws out umashke and gives Torato Rabo. What is Torat Rabo? His Rav, or his Rav, Avraham Avinu, he gives forth all of his Torah to other people, Acherim. מרמז הדבר אצל העבד דהורות, and it's because this is hinted at with his servant to teach us because מזל דלי הוא מזלן של ישראל. Through this, we understand the mazel is for Bnei Israel. He had delihu eved mishamesh alamayim v'zu Torah. Right? We understand that whoever's serving water is a symbolic thing of serving the Torah. The eved eno ratzon batzmo. The servant, he has no ratzon of his own. He has no will of his own. And then what does he have? The ratzon of his Adam, his master. Okay, so this is a really interesting thing. We have free will, but what do we actually serve? Serve the Torah. We serve the mitzvah. Serve. I don't know if you guys watch like Living Torah, Living the Chaim, like podcast. I just saw a one that had like a thumbnail that said "I'm a slave to the daf." I was like, oh, it's beautiful, okay, because we are slaves, so to speak, to the Torah. But you can think of that as a negative, or you can literally see that as what a responsibility. What a powerful message I could give to other people is that the Torah is my guiding force. And I live by it. And here, I'm going to teach you as well. So it's a beautiful idea. Until you're good? Beautiful. Okay, so let's do Gimel. Oh, I see that we're we need to get going because it's 9:20. So let's go. Gimel. Follow with me if you can. وَإِذَا يَفْتَحُوا عَيْنَيْكَ, okay, and with this, open your eyes with Tavin and understand Asher Eved and Naaman Alazek Asher to Abraham, this faithful servant that Abraham was sending. Asher Higbiu HaKadosh Baruch Hu Lemala Min HaMazalot. Abraham was raised above the Mazalot. Who did he send? He sent Eliezer Lahavi Ish Yitzchak. He sent him to find a wife for Yitzchak. Oh, and of course, her name is Rivka. And now I want to just say that all of our learning should be the Refuah Shalema for Rivka Sarabat Ora Shafan. I'm not going to go into it. She's a very close friend of mine, and I hope it's your Refuah Shalema. So I forgot to say it before. Wait, talking about Rivka, when Eliezer went to go find a wife for Yitzchak, what were the criteria? Share Haziv Gazeh, Yaled Ha'umah. Whoever he finds, he knew she's going to actually give birth to the Ummah, the nation. So she has to be really special. And guess what that nation's mazal is? Mazala, who? Really. That mazal is going to be someone who gives me water. ומשמש על המים, זה תורה. הנה העבד הזה אשר הוא דולה ומשקה מתורת רבו. Exactly what we're saying is that Eliezer knew the person who's going to be the one for Yitzhak is whoever gives me to be it going forward, right? Before, okay, Amar, he said, Vahaya Hanara Asher Omer Alai, Tina, whoever says to me, take, okay, Amra Shte, she said, drink. Who said drink? Rivka. Rivka said, no, you should drink, but also, you should drink. She really was the ultimate Dli. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's
She was
so
literally.
also was like a chesed, but now she's kind of like it's not that she
Could
just
it be chesed?
like I never so cool.
Yeah, yeah. She knew that she was probably doing something above and beyond. And a lot of the things that we do, we think we're doing it just a stam situation, but it's really much, much, much. So he whoever does this, she's going to prove herself to be for the son of my master. Kizahu asiman, because this is going to be the sign. Asher mimena yasua oma akusha. This is going to be a sign that she's going to be the one who's going from her is going to come the whole nation. All of us ladies. Thank you. Thank you. Hashem Mazalai. Okay, so at the end it says, "V'hu eved mishoved mishamish." So whoever is going to mishamish alamayim, really mishamish ala Torah, you're really going to be serving the ultimate purpose, which is Torah. Again, understand this with open hearts, okay? Haven is to understand it. We're going to Dalit, okay? The next one. It gets deeper, so it's amazing. Ve'ela devarim timsato ta'am. If these things found good in your eyes, right? Asher Moshe Rabbeinu b'tchilat HaKodesh hazeh, like we're talking about, Sarah's birthday is Rosh Chodesh Shvat. So if we're talking about this day, Rosh Chodesh Shvat, we're connecting it to Moshe Rabbeinu. What did he do on the beginning of this Chodesh? Mazalot Dali Mazlan Shel He knew that it's the mazal of the Dali. He knew it. So what did he do? He tried the Be'eret Torah. He started to what? Started to Be'eret. What were you laughing? Are you laughing because you're kids? They should be. They should. A lot of matches from it. Sorry that we're keeping them up.
No.
We're good. Okay, good. Here we understand that he's starting to give over the Torah. When did he do this? When did he start giving up? I said for Bamidbar, and so we're very not even. Of course, it was. And Sefer Devar, he gave over the Torah. All right. So you know, Rosh Chodesh is when he said. It says Didichtiv, Kidichtiv, Be'aseh Asar Chodesh. Aseh Asar Chodesh is the 11th month. So if we're learning Shvat is the 11th month. How does it work? Nisan is the first month according to Torah. Biblically, Nisan was the first month. Okay, so Nisan, Iyar, Sivan, Tammuz, Av, Elul, Tishri, Cheshvan, Kislev, Tevet, Shvat. The end of the year. According to the Gregorian calendar we just started, the Jewish calendar, we're getting close to the end of the year, which Nisan is the beginning. Shvat is the 11th month. Shvat. It says here, "V'aste asa chodesh v'achad chodesh," the first of the 11th month. Ho'il Moshe be'eretz Torah. So he started to give over and explain. By the way, the air was the air. Air is like a well. So if we're going on the symmetry of the well, he's really the lead of the Torah. The Torah is the well. He's the lead, giving over everyone to drink from the well. Bi'ur. Right, so Bi'ur is to explain. That's what he's actually saying. Yeah. Okay. I was just saying, what a trick. The air is an actual well, right? So Beersheba. Yeah. He's saying that he's there to explain the Torah. That's how he's decided this based on the first day, the 11th month. "Chodesh hazeh asher bo mazlan Yisrael, ho'il Moshe be'eretz Torah." Beautiful, beautiful idea. Any questions? Okay, so the last one is not the last one. What's the last one? Red hay. It's Tonen Od, and we're gonna investigate this more into Tonen. Yitro, this character that we actually met in last week's parsha. Yeah, Chacham Gadol. He was a really wise man. Not only was he a priest, but he also B'chol Chachamim Itztan Ginot. Itztan Ginot means he knew astronomy. He was like he understood how astronomy works. B'chokhmat hamazalot, and he understood the wisdom within the constellations. Okay, his wisdom. כמו שאמר רבינו זיכרונו לברכה, שאמר, אתה ידעתי כי גדול השם מכל האלוהים. He would say, I knew that this God was better, greater, was greater than the other gods. How did he know? כי הוא היה בקיא בכל ענייני העובדות של כוכבים ומזלות. He knew that he was able, God was able, להוריד כוחותיהם, remove their power. This God knew was able to remove power from the stars. Okay? Amar, and then he would say, "Ki gadol Hashem." Goes further. He knew that how great Hashem was. Okay, Al Ken Yitro Shehaya Chacham Gadol, or with here, Chacham Gadol. זה כשאמרו לו בנותיו איש מצרי הצילני, when his daughters came to him and said, an Ish Mitzri, an Egyptian man, saved us. I don't know if you know the backstory here. The daughters of Yitro were all surrounding a well, right? And then there was a whole gang trying to bother them. And then Moshe came to the rescue, to the well, helped them out. They said to their father, an Egyptian man came to save us, right? Not only that, וגם דלל דלל לנו ויש את הצאן. He also came and he also gave our cattle to drink. Yevin ha'inyan, he right away knew, understand that Yitro knew right away shehu Bnei Israel, that he was actually from the Jewish people. Yitro had this inclination, okay, if he went and he gave also your cattle to drink, this is obviously clearly not an Egyptian man. And what did he say to his brothers? Lama azavtem et ha'ish hazeh. Why did you leave this man? Why did you do that? Yes, you let the fish go. Why did you let the fish go? And it says over here, the last two lines here, Ish b'gematria Shvat. Ish in gematria, Aleph, Yud, Shin, Aleph is 1, Yud is 10, and Shin is 300, is the same gematria as Shvat, which is Shin. Shin is 300, Yud is 2, and 10 is 9. So it's the same number. Bilam Harasha Ramaz Bedavar. And so also Bilam knew that there was the muzzle of Israel. It wasn't just Yitro who was super knowledgeable. Bilam also Russian knew. And he said, Yazal Mayim and their children are numerous. We're having a lot of children. Okay, does that everyone understand until here? So last few things. It's 9:30. So sorry, almost done. More. Oh, this is a really interesting one. I forgive me because I'm gonna go fast, but delete, oh, when you spell out the word delete, dalid, right? You see dalid, Lamed, yud, the same gematria as galgal. Galgal is 8 times. Real galgal. Haynu zayin lechet. So we have 7 planets in our solar system. The meaning كوكبين كلهم بعضهم ونجتمع نجد منهم delete. Everyone is Mubata for the delete, which is the eighth countdown. I'm not really sure if anyone can understand this. I personally don't understand who's saying there. There's an eighth wheel, there's some sort of eighth planet, there's some sort of eighth something, and that's where the delete is connected to the solar system. The gum at the end says Hanikud Tziruf. There's also a Nikud of the Tziruf. There's like you have Tziruf of the name of the Yud Kei Vav Kei. There's Nikudot. I have it right here. Yeah, okay. You can't read it. But there's Nikudot. So the mantra of this Nikudot is the same as the mantra of Galgal. Seems to be a very big connection to the week and Galgal, which again, I'm gonna go fast. We're not really sure. Great. Ve'amech kulam tzadikim in Zion. Remember, you guys hear that song where Ve'amech kulam tzadikim? Why? Why ve'amech kulam tzadikim? Why is your nation all tzadikim? Why is that a thing? So it's about the letter tzadi, right? Because the letter tzadi hanivra or tzadi who yesiman hagoel ve'atir. Really, the tzadi represents the delay. The delay represents Bnei Israel. So really, kulam amech tzadikim.
It's alcohol.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm talking about the song that amech kulam tzadikim.
Yeah, isn't that the second line of it?
Not sure. I'm thinking about this new song.
Oh,
Ve'amech kulam tzadikim. No. Okay. I'm thinking about that one. So we understand. Yeah.
with the word until they will listen.
Oh, what a how do you know this?
Right here, 6.
I am certain they knew that, like in that
Like a
time.
lot of the science. Men.
Brilliant. 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 Victor has all the answers. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. I knew someone in this room was gonna know because I could. I was like, what is he even talking about? Oh, beautiful. Because I really couldn't figure it out. Thank you for sharing, Rona. Okay. So again, Amer Kulam Tzadikim, we're all tzadikim because of the letter Tzadi, because of the month of Shvat, which is the Aquarius, which is the Dali, the connection there. Okay? Dali means a bucket. And why are we a bucket? And it's all because we serve the water.
Water.
Water carriers. Yes, exactly. Water carriers. Yeah. I like that idea. We carry the so it's a beautiful. And the last one is that, okay? Shvat Chodesh hazeh, consider Hadiyah. Okay, so we know that there was when we were all encamped in the right? All of the Shvatim had their degel, their banners, okay? And now he's going to give us who's the Shevet of the month of Shvat? No, then Asher, Shevet Asher, Mechuyas the Asher. Asher Ktiv Asher Shmena Lachmo. Actually, when it says in Yaakov was blessing all of his children, he gives him this blessing that he's going to be rich in like bread, and he's going to have beautiful tables, all of the food that you guys serve. So Asher is going to be rich, beautiful in the food, And also it says the tuba b'shem and raglo, and he's going to dip his feet in oil. He Hashem and Zayit hazeh be rav b'chel, an enormous amount of Shemen Zayit in his chelik, in his portion. And that's interesting. Shemen Zayit. Um, what does it have to do with anything of this month? I'll tell you. It says Zayit mitz. Okay. Shemen Zayit matzoi, sham chachma matzoi. Wherever oil, Shemen is found, it's also found there. Wisdom is found where oil is. If you think about where is the world's production of oil happen, Israel is a big oil production. Where else? Greece. Greece. We have a lot of wisdom. A lot of wisdom in Greece. Greek mythology. They're wise. What they have is not Torah. They have wisdom without Torah, though. It is wisdom. Here. So how do we know that there's wisdom from wherever oil comes from? Vayishlach Yoav. It says it in I think it's Shmuel. Vayishlach Yoav Tekoa, and Yoav sends someone to Tekoa. Tekoa alfa Shemen. Tekoa has abundance of Shemen. Anyone know where Tekoa is nowadays? Okay, it's a Yishuv. I used to live there. Tekoa is one of those trips game that's really nice. Next to the wadi, it's like a beautiful, gorgeous desert, Judean desert. At that time, they had a lot of, okay, V'yikach misham isha chokma. He took from the olive. Sure. Well, it's definitely, if it's from Israel, it should be olive oil. Okay. No, we don't use any. They're not even a big producer of oil in general. Do they?
Yeah, it's a big thing.
I'm happy for them. Israel should have all of them. Great. Great. Okay, good. But yeah, we're talking about the olive specific olive. And so he took from there and Isha Chachama, he where there's oil, there's Kevan da'amazo shel hachodesh v'zeh hu mazlan dali, hu mazlan shel Yisrael. Again, it's the dali, it's the bucket that's going to be the symbol of Israel. V'hu eved mishamish oved mind. This is a Torah. Again, if you're serving the water, you're not actually serving water, you're serving Torah. It's symbolic. Ikra chokhmah. It's the entire reason for having chokhmah. Oh, right. Chokhmah nifkat bereshit. It says bereshit chokhmata. Have you heard of that? It says it in the Gemara that bereshit chokhmata. The word was created by chokhmata, wisdom. כן, יוכלו אז החודש הזה לשבט אשר, okay, אשר, אחד לו שמן זית המסוגל לחכמים. Okay, so not only did we learn that who has wisdom, the Bnei Yissaschar has a lot of wisdom, right? But where is wisdom found? The oil. Okay, and that's why he's part of the Shvat. He is symbolic of the month of Shvat. So we're gonna stop here. Next time we do, I hope you could, or I could save it. We're gonna do about Shvat. Shvat is a big holiday that people just go on by and they don't even eat any fruit, which is so sad. We got to talk about Shvat. But we'll stop here, okay, guys? If it was interesting, please let me know. And if you want something else, let me know as well. Let me know whatever your thoughts are, because I find this stuff so interesting.
It's cool to pick up a sefer that you haven't even heard of before, and like,
Seriously.
you know, and you learn from it.
Seriously, I have not picked it up, but I did learn a lot about the months of the year and like, where does it say that? Tell me where it says it. It says it right here. I think Bnei Yissaschar, but he wrote it all down. Without his knowledge of writing it down, it wouldn't be weird. Thank God for him. Yeah, thank God for him. And we should continue eating. And Ramah Malcha that you made was beautiful. I see. I'm still eating. It was really good. Thank you. It was interesting. I hope it was interesting.
I apologize.